there's a certain humbleness, I think, with Canadians. They're very down to earth. And I think because really I was brought up in Canada, and at the end of the day, I feel Canadian. There's a certain humbleness. It doesn't allow me to become this kind of arrogant, oh, aren't I famous? Aren't I successful? Aren't I? I just keep enjoying and doing what I'm doing, and the ups and downs of it. Sometimes I do something really that I'm proud of because it really worked. Other times I struggle and have difficulty with the client, or something doesn't go to market. Many things I design never reach market. It's amazing in this profession how difficult it is. But I don't, so. And the other thing is, I think that Canada taught me something as a child, is that in my classroom, and I'll never forget this, my best friend was from Czech Republic, and my other friend was Yugoslavian. And in front of me, there's this girl that I really liked that was Hindu. And there was a Russian girl that I also had a crush on. And anyway, and I was brought up with this real multiculturalism where we didn't see differentiation of color or race or creed or religion. We just all were there almost collectively as Canadians. You know what I mean? It's quite beautiful. And I remember in Toronto too, where I lived on Queen Street West. Around the corner from me, or from my window, I could see this Greek Orthodox church, but across the street was a whole strip of Polish bakeries. Around the corner was Jamaica Town, blah, blah. And this kind of diversity I loved, but I just thought the whole world was like this. It was kind of naive, And I even remember spending that time I spent in Italy. I thought, I'm not really sure if I could live here the rest of my life because it seems so monocultured, or unicultural. So if you live in Italy, it's almost like at the end of the day, the food, the lifestyle, the way when you live, when you wake up, all these things you have to accept the culture you're in. If you go to Paris, as multicultural as Paris supposedly is, at the end of the day, it's very French. Or Copenhagen, it's very Danish. Or and I travel the world. I work in all these places, and I realized why I ended up in New York in a way, because New York is like a big Toronto. It still has that same, people from all over the world. But Canada had more of a melting pot. They say America's melting pot, but I don't think it really is. I think there's a lot of segregation. So, but with all this said, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I always feel very global. I don't really feel actually, until today, like my home's New York. But I don't really know where my home is, And I honestly don't go to my apartment and feel, oh, I'm home. Or I don't really feel that. I feel like a lot of times my apartment's like a hotel. And I stay in hotels every week all over the world, and I'm working in 49 countries, and I travel nonstop. And so it's gotten to the point where I don't know if that I enjoy, I don't want to say enjoy, it's just part of my life, Sometimes I hate it, sometimes I love it, but it's just part of my life. But I think it's from that upbringing in Canada then, and all the moving around since Cairo. And it made me think and see the world differently.